we are going to speak with the Minister of Service NL, the Honourable Tony Cornect. How are you tonight?
I'm good, Jonathan, and how are you this evening?
I'm very well. It's a pleasure to speak with you, Minister.
Okay. First off, Jonathan, I just want to clear the decks here.
Go.
I've been appointed as Minister of Service NL since September 30th.
Right.
And on a talk show this afternoon, Mr. Lane, again tonight with you, mentioned the fact that he has written me twice requesting a meeting.
I wasn't aware he was on this afternoon. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I've checked with, the administrative assistants here, my executive assistant, my constituency assistant, and, I checked my emails and so forth. Like, I have not been contacted by Mr. Lane in regards to requesting a meeting.
Now, that's interesting.
Now, if Mr. Lane wishes to meet, I would be delighted to meet with him, and all he has to do is contact the office. But, I just want to put that out there, that Mr. Lane has not contacted this office or contacted me in regards to a meeting.
Well, we should definitely have that clarified.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, in regards to the Mary's Township Yard Family Association, I want to tell you that I've had a correspondence from them. I've responded to them. And as a new minister, my door is open for a meeting with them anytime they wish. Just give me a call or request a meeting, and I will certainly do my best to meet with them as well.
That's wonderful news. I would love to, I need to familiarize myself with that particular issue, Minister. I'm completely ignorant as to this particular situation. It sounds terrible, but I really can't pass too much comment on it at this point. But it's good that you do say publicly that you are open to a meeting about that. What I wanted to speak to you about in particular, sir, is the issue of the review commissions for workplace health and safety. And Paul Lane did put it succinctly. There seem to be some systemic issues, and when I did speak with the Chief Review Commissioner last week, she indicated as such. Now, I know you're very new to this post, but I'm guessing this might be one of the files that you are more familiar with. Can you speak to any of the issues that you have observed as Minister so far? Obviously,
Jonathan, I'm certainly concerned with the length of time it takes for decisions to be made on these appeals. As you know, there has been a lot of work done over the last couple of years to reduce the backlog. However, there's more work that needs to be done, and as you're well aware, the Premier also reiterated this last week when he spoke to the media on this matter. So we know there's certainly work to be done. We recognize the critical need to ensure that an expeditious and accessible workers' compensation appeals process for injured workers and employers. So, as part of this commitment, government appointed a full-time review commissioner in February 2013 as a dedicated resource, to the appeals process. This has resulted in considerable improvements in the review division's backlog, efficiency, and overall service levels. And you mentioned the fact as well in your conversation with Mr. Lane that on the website many of the cases that were heard by the review commissioners are posted online.
Oh, tons of them.
They are very complex cases.
I couldn't believe how complex they are, Minister. When I did read them, I mean, I'm a busy guy, and when I did get into some of that, the Chief Review Commissioner has the decisions that she has submitted, all of a sudden 4 hours had gone by and I only read 2 of them. They are quite extensive and lengthy in their composition, and I was quite overwhelmed. There are over 100 in this year alone, and I think a likewise equal number for the year previous.
Yeah, as an example, in 2013-2014, review commissioners heard 39% more cases and rendered 34% more decisions than in the previous year. This is in spite of numerous appeals involving complex matters and requiring, an in-depth review and analysis, as on the part of the review commissioner. So, there's a lot of work that goes into reviewing these and making decisions in these cases.
Yeah, this is, a simple cursive glance at what's on the website, and they're all there, folks, gov.nl.ca, WHSCRD. You can find them under Workplace Health Safety Compensation Review Division. Every review by the commissioners are there. And I've noticed, I think for at least 2 years running, all of the review commissioners have remained the same. Minister, can I ask you, is it a budgetary issue insofar as that there is only one full-time review commissioner and the rest are part-time? Are you able to speak to that at all?
No, that was the review commissioner full-time basis was brought in a few years ago, along with the 7 commissioners, and that's something that I'm committed to working with the chief review commissioner, the premier, and the government to find a way to reduce this backlog, even further. So, we have to find solutions.
Yes.
That are fair for the injured workers and for the employers, but solutions are not always easy. And and these are, like I told you earlier, Jonathan, and you realize it as well. These are complex cases, and there could be any number of contributing factors why it takes time to schedule hearings. Sometimes, people aren't ready to proceed, or new information comes forward, and so forth. So, there's a lot of reasons why, we have a backlog.
Yes, I would imagine that there are many reasons that you would have a backlog, and some of them perhaps might not be made public whatsoever. Let me ask you a question, Minister. If you could answer this, we can count. I believe there's about 100, 110 decisions that have been rendered this year. Yep. How many are in the backlog?
The current backlog case, I don't know how much in the backlog. I don't have that number in front of me, but what I can tell you is that the current backlog of cases has been reduced from 150 applications in comparison to 242 last year.
Okay. So okay. That's an immediate decrease of about 90.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is today, but there was about 150 in comparison. Has been reduced by 100. So
maybe when you find out, you could fire me off an email. Much appreciated, sir.
Absolutely, and so this means, Jonathan, that the review division is not only meeting current demands, but is also addressing older applications, which have been outstanding from previous years as part of its backlog. So, they are working diligently, and and a lot of these cases, as we appreciate and recognize, and are fully aware of, are very complex cases, and I'm committed to working with the chief review commissioner, and with the premier and our government to find a way to reduce this backlog even further. I am concerned with the length of time it takes for decisions to be made in these appeals, and we have to find a way that's acceptable.
I do appreciate you clarifying this, and when I did look into it, it is quite extensive, and I appreciate you trying to explain that to the public. We have to go to the break now. I want to thank you for joining us tonight, and please send me an email with that number or any other bit of information.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. MHA for Port-au-Port, Minister Tony Cornect, Minister of, my goodness, just about everything. Labor Relations Agency, Government Purchasing Agency, of course, Service NL, and you are Minister responsible for Chief of Information, Workplace, Health and Safety. It goes on, and Francophone Affairs. Quite extensive.